the stress on the bone, and the bone responds by building itself up, and that's very easily measured radiographically. Cholesterol drops, longevity seems to be increased. A very interesting byproduct is that with anaerobic exercise, really heavy weightlifting, strong stuff, that burns about 6 to 7 times as many calories as aerobic exercise. The reason being that it breaks down muscle fibers, and in the rebuilding of the muscle fibers, a lot of calories are expended.
The effect being long beyond just the physical time of exercise.
Exactly. You're out of the gym for 48 hours and you're still using up those calories, and if you've got a Charlie horse from working too hard in the gym, that's a good sign. The most important factor as far as age is concerned is that if you keep exercising heavily to, let's say, you're 45 or 50, that is, and then stop, that is not nearly as beneficial as beginning to exercise when you're 60 and continuing it. So that if there are people my age listening or watching this show,
40 or so?
hie thee hither. Don't confuse age with IQ. Hie thee hither to the gym and get yourself an exercise program and go right to it, which is just what I did.
You know, it's interesting about osteoporosis and weightlifting, because there was a long time when people only talked about aerobic activities and almost ridiculed weightlifting as something that doesn't give any health benefits. It may make you look better, but it doesn't have any health benefits. And I think recently the opposite has occurred.
Yeah. Well, look, I've known this for many years. If you look at our ancestral activity patterns, you can see that we have lots of languid periods of rest, but high activity, high intensity, intermittent, power law variation in activity. And the variety and the intensity, along with a semi-low caloric diet of the kind that Roy is emphasizing, although for me, low calories is like 3,500 calories with my basal metabolism and my muscle mass. So carry the muscle mass of an ancient hunter-gatherer. Hunter-gatherers don't age the way Americans do. Westerners have the Western disease. Underexertion, overeating, all too simple carbohydrates. Essentially, most of the pasta people eat is a bowl of sugar, deferred for a brief while. Low nutritional content, high caloric content. The body can't, the metabolism is not designed for that kind of load.
French, out on the gene therapy frontier, do you see aging being a target for work of your colleagues or your descendants?
Well, certainly, the answer, unfortunately, is yes. There is a lot of money to be made if one can develop a gene technique that switches the aging gene, and there have been genes that are related to aging found in fruit flies and other organisms. So the answer is yes, but I say unfortunately yes, because we know so little about the human body, or animal bodies for that matter. New feedback mechanisms, new regulators, new factors are being found all the time. We have no idea what would happen if we tried to put a gene into a cell to interfere with something as fundamental as the aging clock, as the length of time that nature has set for our cells to survive. So I think that would be a tremendously dangerous thing to do. But you asked, do I think somebody will do it? Yes.
All right, we're ready for a prediction. 100 years from now, I want you to fast forward 100 years. What is the average lifespan in America, Roy?
We'll still be there.
Yeah, I think many people alive today, at least the children anyway, will live throughout the next century and on into the following one.
So give me a number. 100 years from now, what's your number? What's the
average lifespan? 150.
Greg?
Yes, I convened a whole group of people, researchers in the biology of aging, and they were of the opinion that 150 or more was a very realistic possibility.
Art?
That doesn't square with the rapid rise of hyperinsulinemia and adult onset diabetes, the cascades of multiple sclerosis, and a variety of other diseases.
What's your number?
We're seeing. I don't have a number. It's always a distribution, and a lot of statistical fallacies are made because you have a finite sample. The variance is actually larger than the sample variance is, the theoretical variance.
French?
I'm not sure if I can separate what I think from what I hope, but my feeling is that there will not be a major increase in lifespan. So my number would be 120. But what I think will happen is that Roy's curve will be such that human beings will be much healthier, much more active, much more productive, well out into that, and then nature dictates how long our cells naturally survive, and what very likely is going to happen is that we will crash. It's like the one-horse shay, that
Yes.
It goes for 100 years, and then on the on the last day it collapses.
The ideal model.
Well, that was actually Oliver Wendell Holmes.
Was it Oliver Wendell Holmes?
That's why he wrote that poem about the one-horse shay. I will stick with the same 120 that I had at the outset, and of course, French has more elegantly said what I was going to say. What we'll see is a compression of morbidity and suffering, with the recognition, of course, that nerve cells, even the neuron's body changes if we work with it. Synapses certainly remain stronger, become stronger if we continue working with them. Osteoporosis is decreased if we exercise. We will see vigorous people of 100 and 110. They will be dead when they're 120, notwithstanding everything we've heard.
Despite differences of opinion, there seems to be a common sense prescription for longevity and healthy living. Eat a balanced diet of whole grains, fresh fruits, vegetables. Limit calories and animal fats. If you want to take vitamins, stick to the basics like E and C. Exercise regularly, sleep well. Avoid injury, tobacco, excess alcohol, and stress. Don't obsess, and don't experiment with fads. What's your report card? Here's mine. Good on the diet, excellent on the exercise, but lousy on the stress. There's just too much pressure doing these health shows. You know, common sense usually keeps us closer to truth. I'm Robert Kuhn.